When we look at the super-rich worldwide, we realize that they often have commonalities and act in similar ways. These individuals not only make a lot of money, but also have similar habits that are crucial to their impressive success. Have you ever dreamed of being a multi-millionaire? Do you believe you are on the right path to achieve your goals? If we observe closely, we will notice that, for the most part, individuals who have reached the status of millionaires or billionaires globally share quite similar characteristics and behaviors. These people cultivate common habits that lead them to achieve grand results. In reality, it is a fact that all these individuals are people just like everyone else. Most of them emerged from very diverse backgrounds compared to their current realities. We should use these behaviors, adapting them to our own reality and seeking similar results. Today, we will address 8 practices performed by successful people, which are not practiced by those who have not achieved success. It is worth noting that success is a highly malleable word, as it can have different meanings for different individuals. It may represent joy, peace, happiness, a large family, cars, travel, clothing, or freedom for you. However, examining the life journey reveals that each achievement requires specific steps. Success, therefore, can take on various meanings for different people. Before we delve into the habits, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you can achieve the long-awaited success. Take a moment to comment, "I want to be a multimillionaire," if you have this desire. Stay until the end if you want to know what the most prosperous habit that multimillionaires have is. Habit number 1. The main characteristic shared by many successful people is that about 80% of them maintain some form of regularity in waking up early, following a specific morning routine. To illustrate this point, cases like Richard Branson and Tim Cook can be mentioned, both billionaires who start their mornings around 4:30 a.m. It is not necessary for you to wake up at this time, but the justification for this practice is that they reserve time for themselves, whether for reading, journaling, or physical exercises. They establish an intentional moment to become who they want to be, following a daily routine before starting their professional activities. Despite having thousands of employees, they prioritize waking up early every day, ensuring valuable time for themselves in the early hours. Imagine trying to wake up at least an hour earlier and dedicating that time to yourself instead of watching Netflix or sports events at night. By choosing to sleep an hour earlier and waking up an hour earlier, how would it impact your routine? Ask yourself if you feel that you already wake up early enough to have a dedicated period for your personal growth. If the answer is negative, it is advisable to incorporate this practice into your life. Habit number 2. The second truly fascinating characteristic is that they read almost daily. An article published a few years ago stated that an average CEO consumes about 60 literary works annually. This means that the average CEO at the peak of their company, the highest in their industry, reads more than 1 book per week. Therefore, it is necessary to ask yourself how many books you are reading. What is your commitment to progress and to absorb knowledge from some of the most successful individuals who have ever existed? Everything you want to learn about self-development, specialties in certain areas, and other learnings already has existing works that you could explore, created by some of the most insightful minds that have ever existed. It is an excellent idea to start exploring these works regularly, making it a fundamental goal to set. Determine the number of books you would like to read monthly, identify that number, record it, and start following it. Habit number 3. The third action they take is to engage in regular physical activity because they recognize the connection between mind and body. If the body is not in balance, there is a high probability that the mind is not either. The mind and body maintain a constant connection at all times. A clear example of this is when you consume a very heavy meal in the middle of the day, resulting in an intense feeling of fatigue after lunch. Certainly, you have experienced that midday exhaustion, immediately craving a cup of coffee. This feeling may not be natural. Perhaps it is the result of the food choice that is causing this reaction. In this scenario, the reason why millionaires exercise regularly is to understand that by maintaining a consistent routine of physical activity in the morning or evening, the body generates more energy throughout the day. The more energy available during the day, the greater the ability to achieve goals, regardless of what they are. Therefore, one of the recurring practices is to exercise at least 4 times a week, always staying active. Habit number 4. The fourth step is to consistently record your goals. In the 1970s, Harvard University conducted a study with graduates where only 3% of this class actually documented their goals. Later, 10 years later, in the 1980s, they followed up on all these individuals and found that the 3% who wrote down their goals with pen and paper achieved success 10 times greater than the other 97%. At the same time, the reality is that it becomes tangible when you record with pen and paper, as it takes physical form in this world, becoming something visible and achievable. Often, people set goals without recording them, which ultimately results in failure because they do not make an effort to figure out how to achieve them, representing the biggest obstacle to not reaching their goals. When creating a business plan, we do not do it mentally. Instead, we document everything. By adopting this process, you gain a clearer understanding of what you want exactly. Ask yourself how often you record your goals, and if it is not a common practice, it may be appropriate to develop the habit of documenting your goals and working with them daily, incorporating it into your daily note-taking routine. Habit number 5. The fifth action they take is to seek mentors. An article from years ago stated that the average person who reaches millionaire status usually has an average of 7 guides before reaching the first million. Therefore, the importance of having a mentor lies in the fact that they can shorten your learning curve, reducing 20 years of knowledge and experience to just 2 years. This is the relevance of hiring a coach. The mentor is someone more advanced in the process than you, has already achieved what you aspire to, and has made the mistakes that you would eventually make. By learning from them, you can shorten your learning curve, avoiding repeating their mistakes and understanding exactly what is needed to achieve your goals. The crucial aspect is to have someone who can guide you, providing the keys to unlock the necessary doors to reach your goals. Habit number 6. Engaging in optimistic self-talk. Each of us starts as a positive individual, but the world tends to undermine this characteristic in our being. For this reason, it is important to polish this positivity. It is not realistic to wake up every day with enthusiasm to face the day, but it is feasible to start a dialogue with yourself to discover reasons to move forward and act more. You can begin to talk to yourself, promoting strengthening. Succeeding in this world is challenging, becoming even more difficult when your own mind constantly creates negative conversations. To establish a constructive internal dialogue system, being more intentional in each mental conversation is essential. Eliminating pessimistic thoughts that populate the mind and cultivating positive thoughts allows you to distance yourself from negative thoughts. Habit number 7. Not giving up in the face of failure. Failure does not occupy space in the mind of a successful individual. It only manifests when there is a complete abandonment of new attempts. People experience setbacks more often than the sum of all ordinary individuals, but they do not fret over failure. They do not dwell on lost moves, but focus on planning the next ones. Thus, as can be observed, to achieve success, it is necessary to face several falls along the way. Do not let this stop you. Continue, as failures are part of the process. Habit number 8. Never stopping. Financial magnates simply do not cease. They set their goals and resolve to achieve them or perish trying. The secret to success is surviving longer than others in your field, as most will give up along the way. The majority of your competitors will quit. So, if you do not gradually stop, you will acquire the skills, gain the knowledge, and everything necessary to outperform others more successfully. By making the mental resolution, regardless of what happens, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you think negatively, no matter how many times you make mistakes, you will continue to improve and persist until the moment of success arrives. This is evident when observing the list of people who failed, but achieved great success in this world, having failed repeatedly. If we look at the example of Abraham Lincoln, for instance, how many times did he fail and the obstacles he faced in his life, eventually becoming the President of the United States? Many highly successful people end up facing several defeats along the way, with the only difference being that they do not allow these failures to hinder the success that is to come, not allowing defeats to prevent them from following the established path, remaining true to their destiny. Reflect on how different your life would be if you simply did not give up on what you abandoned years ago. What would your life be like now? Reflect on this and consider how your life would be today, how your mind would be today, how your body would be today if you had never given up on what you abandoned a decade ago. Certainly your life would be very different from now on. Do not give up, and success will manifest naturally, as the 8th habit says. Do not stop and start watching the next video on the channel to delve deeper into the habits of great success. If you made it this far, write "I will be consistent" in the comments so that I know you have a great chance of becoming a successful millionaire. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time.